Come and listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crude oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. The kinfolk said, Jed, move away from there. Said, California is the place you ought to be. So they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is, swimming pools, movie stars.
The Beverly Hillbilly.
Someone far from harbor, you may ride across the bar, right in the corner where you are.
Ah! Ellie! Ellie! Come get this thing out of here! Granny, don't yell like that. You'll scare Daisy. And don't call her Daisy. I don't want no buzzard named after me.
Oh, Granny, she likes you. Ain't you noticed how she keeps watching you?
At my age, it ain't no treat to have a buzzard watching you. Here, take these to the kitchen and commence ironing.
Oh, yes, sir. Come on, Daisy.
Not her. I don't allow no scavengers in my kitchen.
Well, what about...
That's different. Jethro is family.
Hey there, Mr. Drysdale. Granny, Ellie Mae, Mr. Drysdale, Miss Jean is here to see you.
Jed, will you tell your daughter to get rid of that big, ugly bird? It makes me nervous.
But, well, Granny...
We'll talk about that later. Mr. Drysdale says this is real important and can't wait.
Quite true, quite true. Oh, please sit down, everybody. I have an announcement of historical importance to make. Mr. Clampett, members of your esteemed family, at the opening of business this morning, precisely 10 o'clock Pacific Daylight Savings Time, your balance in my bank reached the unprecedented figure of $80 million. Granny, I'm hungry.
Mr. Drysdale's fixing to make an important announcement.
Yeah, I just made it. You have $80 million.
Oh.
Well, now, here's the really good news. In keeping with my policy of generosity, I have a free gift for you.
Mr. Drysdale, you don't have to.
No. It's a tradition with my bank. Every depositor whose balance reaches $80 million is automatically eligible. Please, Miss Hathaway.
Not going through with this farce.
The gift, please, Miss Hathaway. This is no time to think of expense. With my compliments.
Well, doggies, would you look at that? What is it?
It's a genuine imported Oriental magic music maker.
Huh? Dog! Japanese transistor radio.
All it needs is a battery.
I'll get one.
Mr. Drysdale, you didn't have to get us that.
Tut! It's the least I can do.
Very least.
Well, you done all the work, taking care of our money. Seems like we ought to give you a present.
I got just the thing for him. You like big birds, Mr. Drysdale?
I ain't giving him Daisy.
Granny, that's a mighty poor reward for all Mr. Drysdale done. Taking care of our money for 6 years must have been a mighty heavy burden.
Well, I can't deny that it has cost me many sleepless nights. Spun a few silver threads among the gold, added lines to a once youthful face, and caused a slight tremor to a once steady hand.
Hope you ain't gonna be sick.
I wish I could say the same. Come along, silver-haired daddy. I do not.
What do you mean, nap? I didn't build this man a fortune by sleeping. Semper paratus, always ready. Others may work from sun to sun, but bankers' work is never done.
Mr. Drysdale, you take it easy. Don't overdo it.
My advice exactly.
What better way to go? I regret that I have but one life to give to my largest depositor.
All right, Nathan.
And when that big bank in the sky calls my final loan, let my epitaph read, he never met a millionaire he didn't like.
Yes, it seems a sensible thing to do is to take the $80 million and bury it in the backyard.
Get off on Moldy.
How can?
Hey, I still don't think it's a good idea to put money in the ground.
It's better than putting Mr. Drysdale there.
Something wrong with Mr. Drysdale?
Yeah, Jethro. Poor man has wore himself to a frazzle worrying about my money.
And we're trying to figure what to do with it.
I can tell you what to do with it. You can give it to England.
England?
They hurting for money?
They so bad off, they done sold their queen.
No.
Sold their queen?
Yes, sir. I heard it on Mr. Drysdale's radio. The city of Philadelphia has bought Queen Elizabeth and is fixing to tie her to the dock for a tourist attraction.
I can't believe it.
You greening us, boy?
No, sir. I heard it.
Turn that thing on again.
News is over now. Can't get but one station.
Seems to me, if England was in that much trouble, we'd have heard something from them folks in our castle.
Let's have Jethro write 'em. Get the story firsthand.
I can beat that. Hello, operator? This is Sir Jethro de Bodine, head varlet to the Earl of Clampton. Put me through to our castle in England.
Ask for Major Domo.
Yeah, England. Word has reached our royal ears that the rabble has hawked the queen. We might have to come over there and flog a bunch of them rascals.
I'll handle it, boy. Yes, ma'am. That's Clampett Castle in Kent, England. What is it they say over there instead of howdy?
Faversham.
Yeah, that's it.
Would you hold on a minute, please? Oh, Mr. Faversham, sir. I think you'd better take this call. It's from the United States.
Yes?
This is Jed Clampett speaking. Is that you, Mr. Domo?
Faversham, sir. Faversham.
Well, Faversham to you.
Faversham, Mr. Domo.
Yeah, I was, Granny. Listen, Major, we were just wondering how everybody's getting along over there.
Oh, quite well, sir, thank you. Considering the fact we're running the castle with a skeleton staff.
They got trouble, all right. Their servants is down to skin and bone.
Oh, we don't care nothing about them oafs and serfs. How much did Philadelphia give you for the queen?
I hope you'll excuse Jethro. He heard some wild story about selling Queen Elizabeth to Philadelphia. I reckon ain't no truth to it.
Well, yes, sir. As a matter of fact, we've sold both our queens.
Don't say.
What is it, Jed?
They done sold Queen Mary to Long Beach.
It's a revolution. The rabble has rose up and is getting rid of royalty. Dukes and earls is next, and that's us.
Yeah.
We got to rally around the queen and put down this uprising. To arms! To arms!
Mr. Clampett, sir. Mr. Clampett.
Yes?
I heard Master Jethro's outburst. It's only Her Majesty's ships that have been sold.
Oh. Well, things ain't quite as bad as we thought, but it's hurting for money, all right. The Queen sold her Navy. Well, don't let her sell nothing else. Maybe things will get... What's that? You done sold London Bridge, too?
Poor woman, Jed. We've got to help her.
Well, I got a feeling things is going to pick up. I hope the Queen still got her health.
Oh, yes, indeed, sir. And Her Majesty is spending this week at the Royal Preserves.
I see. Well, maybe we'll be paying you a visit soon, Mr. Domo.
Faversham, sir.
Faversham to you. You know, two ways about it, Granny. Things is rough. You know what the Queen is spending this week doing?
What?
Putting up preserves.
There ain't no time to lose, Jed. You gotta take your money out of the bank and head for England.
Yep, looks like we can save Mr. Drysdale and the Queen at the same time.
Chief, the guard just called and said Granny and Mr. Clampett are on the way up.
Quick. Hide this. And get your mascara.
The mascara?
Yes, I want some dark shadows under my eyes. I haven't had a good night's sleep in 6 years, remember?
Not that phony act again.
Well, it worked, didn't it? I practically had them in tears. Now do as I say.
Mr. Drysdale?
Yes? Who is it?
Hey, Jed Clampett.
Oh, so it is. You'll have to excuse me, sir. A bad case of banker's squint, adding up those figures day and night. 6 years. Oh, excuse me, sir.
Mr. Drysdale, I know you've been toting a crushing burden, but I got good news for you.
Good news?
I'm going to take my $80 million out of your bank. Bet you in the wheelbarrow, Granny. Well, doggy, it worked already. He's sure sleeping now, with it.
Just like a baby.
Where am I? What's going on?
You fainted.
Fainted?
Oh, you were in a deep coma. It took a 20 to bring you out of it.
I'm not the type who faints. What happened?
Well, Mr. Clapper told you he was withdrawing his $80 million. I'd better open a window.
No. Lock it. I might jump.
Better hide my tie and belt, too.
You know, of course, you brought this on yourself.
How?
That Financial Fatigue Act. Mr. Clapper felt sorry for you.
Where is he?
Waiting in my office.
Mr. Clampett.
Hey, that nap sure done wonders for you.
Oh, I never felt better in my life.
Well, it must be a relief getting $80 million off your back.
No, please, don't take it.
Mr. Drysdale, you said yourself that it's a crushing burden.
But I'm used to it. I'm a banker. But it would finish you in no time.
Well, it ain't gonna be no burden to me. I'm giving it away.
Giving it away?
Yes, you see, there is a certain lady that's in trouble.
Oh, I see. Well, how much does she want?
Well, I reckon all she can lay her hands on.
Yes, I know the type.
Leastwise, I aim to give her all I got.
Oh, $80 million!
Well, to this lady, that's just a drop in the bucket.
She must have some bucket.
If you knew who she was.
Who is she?
Well, I don't know if she'd want me to say. She's a mighty high-placed woman.
And high price, too. What's her name?
Keep it yourself?
I promise.
Well.
Queen Elizabeth!
Drysdale, you promise.
Mr. Clampett, I assure you the Queen of England is a very wealthy woman.
Once was, maybe, but things is kind of rough. I've looked into the matter.
Jed, them goobers downstairs won't give us no money without you signing a check.
All right. Ask Miss Jane to get us 4 tickets to London.
No! I won't let you.
You won't let us.
Drysdale, it's my money.
What I meant was that you just can't walk up to Buckingham Palace and hand the Queen money. She's too proud to accept charity.
Oh, we know that. Good. We're going to put it in plain gunny sacks and throw it over the wall.
Wait a minute. Miss Clampett, Granny. A thing like this has to be handled with great diplomacy. Now, I have some connections with the British Embassy, and I'll have them get in touch with you.
Well, we do want to handle it the right way.
Yes. Well, you go home and leave everything to me.
All right. Hop on, Granny.
Now, don't take the freeway this time, Jed. That tailgating makes me nervous.
Miss Hathaway,
Chief?
I want you to get me the finest British actor money can buy.
Well, how much money are you talking about?
I'll go as high as $10.
What, are you serious?
Look, this is no time to pinch pennies.
How long are you going to be, mate? This rig's due back at the studio at 5 o'clock.
Well, at the rate Mr. Drysdale is paying me, my performance should run about 2 minutes.
Jed, the Englishman is here.
Granny, we got to be careful how we talk to that fella. Mr. Drysdale says he's a Queen's minister.
I never seen no preacher dressed like him. Satin breeches, lace cuffs, all kinds of fancy trappings.
Likely Episcopalian.
And come in a big stage coat.
Well, Granny, hay is cheaper than gasoline. And I reckon they don't pay their preachers no better than we pay ours.
Kid, so it won't surprise you. His hair is white as snow.
Probably been doing a heap of worrying about the Queen.
Yeah.
Come in, come in.
Thank you.
Iversham.
Montrose. Is Mr. Clampett around?
Well, I'm Jed Clampett, and this here is Granny.
How do you do?
Pleased to meet you, Reverend.
Reverend?
Well, Mr. Drysdale said you was the Queen's minister.
Minister of Finance.
He must take up the collection.
Here is my identification and my authority to act on the Queen's behalf.
Well, come on in the parlor and sit down.
No, I'm afraid I haven't the time. But Mr. Drysdale tells me that you wish to present the Queen with a gift of some sort.
Well, we heard that the Queen...
But unfortunately, Her Majesty is not allowed to accept gifts. But on the Queen's behalf, I thank you for whatever it is you had in mind for her. Good day.
Well, what we had in mind was $80 million.
Did you say? $80 million.
Didn't Mr. Drysdale tell you? It's sitting in his bank. And Jed is more than happy for the Queen to have it.
Now, Granny, if the Queen can't take it...
There may be a way. Excuse me while I talk to my chief of protocol. Well, you may return to the studio, you chaps. It looks as though the bit part I'm playing is going to turn into a very meaty role.
Oh, and what kind of a role is it?
A bankroll.
I hope you don't mind doing your talking in the kitchen.
Not at all.
I ain't nosy. I just want to hear everything.
Well, anyway, as I was saying, after the oil company gave me all them millions, Cousin Pearl talked me into moving out of the little old cabin and coming out here to Beverly Hills.
I see.
Been here ever since, except for a couple of weeks we spent in England in our castle.
You own a castle in England?
Yes, sir. The folks are mighty nice to us there. That's one reason we're so anxious to help the Queen.
We'll think of a way.
Of course, it's got to be done so it wouldn't seem like charity. We wouldn't want to hurt her pride none.
Naturally. But the castle solves the problem.
It does?
As a British landowner, you are qualified to purchase royal real estate.
Well, that's fine, but how's that help?
Well, as you know, Her Majesty has vast real estate holdings all over the world, but she's eaten up with taxes.
Well, what they call a land pool.
I could make you a fabulous price on one of the Crown colonies.
Here's your tea, Parson.
Would you like to buy Hong Kong?
Hong Kong?
That's that big ape that carried off Fay Ray.
Hong Kong is on the coast of China.
Well, to tell the truth, I ain't too keen on buying a Chinese ape. Let's get back to the real estate.
Oh, fine. Would you be interested in Australia? Or perhaps India?
I might.
Well, if you like islands, I could make you a very good price on Borneo.
Doggone, I wish I knew more about these things. Granny and me ain't had much schooling.
Jed!
Oh, good. There's Jethro. He's the educated member of the family.
He is?
Jed!
Out here in the kitchen, boy.
On second thought, I better check those rights. There may be a second mortgage on Borneo.
Jed, tell that lady to let me take her buzzard to England so we can hunt rabble from the truck.
Well, we'll talk about that later, boy. This here is the Queen's minister.
Oh, pleased to meet you, Reverend.
I'm very pleased to meet you, Jethro.
Jed, we gotta take the buzzard. I already sent the truck over.
You sent the truck to England?
Yes, sir. Put it on one of them great big cargo planes, so it'll be waiting when we get there.
How many times have I told you I don't allow buzzers in here?
You know something? There's a lot of folks that feels that way. Did you ever try hitchhiking from the airport, wearing a suit of armor and toting a buzzard?
Strangely enough, I never have.
The whales don't. Everybody slowed down, but nobody stopped.
Well, what's done is done. Jethro, I need your advice on buying some royal real estate.
Royal real estate?
It's a way of helping the Queen. Now, the parson here has given me my choice of Australia, India, or Borneo.
Uh-oh. Be careful, Uncle Jed. This rascal's foxing you.
Jethro, he's a man of the cloth.
Oh, yeah. And he's pulling it over your eyes.
Explain yourself, boy.
He's holding out the best place. Make him sell you Canada.
You're right, Mr. Clampett. He's the educated member of the family.
Graduated in 6th grade.
Well, I must confess I was holding out Canada till the last.
Well, can't fault you for that, Parson. You were just looking out for the Queen. Good trader always keeps the best horse in the barn.
Well, I'm glad you understand. Very well, sir. Canada it is.
Make him put in the riding, Uncle Jed. And see to it that he gives you the title to Canada. You'll need that when you go to subdivide.
Well, I don't aim to do that.
No, but the boy's right. Everything must be perfectly honest and legal. Now, if you have a pen, I will transfer title right above the Queen's signature.
Good. Then I'll pay the tax on it and give it back to her. I'll call Mr. Drysdale and have him make out the check.
No. That won't be necessary. I trust you. You trust me. Just let me have whatever cash you have as good faith money.
Well, I don't know how much I got here, but...
That'll do perfectly. Thank you, and there's the title.
Mr. Clampett, Jethro told me about shipping the truck to England, but don't worry, I'll have it back on the next plane.
Oh, no need to do that. We's going over ourselves quick as Miss Jane gets us a ticket.
Oh, but there's no need to go now. Didn't the Queen's minister come to see you?
Sure did. Dandy fella. Nice man to do business with, too.
Business?
Sold me Canada for $80 million and a handful of cash.
You bought Canada, Jed?
His Jethro deserves the credit. Hadn't been for him, I might have wound up with Borneo. Mr. Drysdale, why don't you, Mr. Doggy. All it takes to catch him up on his sleep is little good news.
Now it's time to say goodbye to Jed and all his kin. They would like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of their hospitality. Hillbilly, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now. Here.
This has been a Filmways presentation.
Viacom.